The political crisis swirling around City Hall had a new development yesterday as two former high-ranking FDNY chiefs were indicted, accused of fast-tracking fire safety inspections in exchange for tens of thousands of dollars in bribes. It is just the latest as the federal investigations continue to plague Mayor Adams' inner circle. For more on this and how it's really impacting City Hall and how the mayor's office is conducting business and trying to run the city, we're joined by a familiar face here to New York One, Grace Rauh. She used to be a political reporter for many years. As you may know, she's now the executive director of the Five Borough Institute. It's a nonpartisan public policy group here in the city. Great to see you this morning.
Thank you, Rocco. Good to see you, too.
Welcome back. Let's talk about this. What do you make of some of these? Let's talk about these federal investigations. There are several taking place, as you know, over at City Hall. From your standpoint, when you're watching all of this take place, what is going through your mind, and what do you folks talk about over at your group?
Well, I think bottom line, our city functions best when New Yorkers have confidence in their government and their leaders. And we've really seen that confidence weakened given the events of the last week. And that's not a good thing. We have so many very real and pressing public policy needs for this city right now. We have an affordability crisis, housing, high cost of housing, not enough housing, homelessness, education, childcare. These are all things that should be top of mind for City Hall, for our leaders. They're certainly top of mind for New Yorkers. And we're concerned that everything that's happening, all the turmoil, is going to be a distraction and really hinder the progress that we need to be making on these issues that are so pressing for so many New Yorkers.
Yeah, I mean, the mayor can say all he wants that it's not a distraction, right? And at the end of the day, yes, the garbage will still get picked up, we hope, and the schools will still run, but it's those bigger issues where policy moves can't really be forwarded.
Exactly. I mean, we thankfully have an incredible public sector workforce who is showing up each and every day focused on delivering services to New Yorkers. We applaud them, especially at a time like this, when that can feel particularly challenging. But some of those bigger lift items and even the recruitment of leaders into government, we're seeing that potentially be affected. The mayor's office of child care has been without an executive director for almost an entire year. That's a problem given the vast child care needs of our city, which is something that we've focused on at Five Borough. The mayor's housing agenda, the City of Yes, needs to be passed by the city council. That is something that has faced a lot of local pushback and criticism, right? You all know this well. But our housing needs are so vast. We think it's hugely important that this agenda move forward and allow us to build more housing across the city. But that requires real political capital to get done. And that's where the turmoil at City Hall has the real potential, unfortunately, to affect the policy agenda, which is so needed. And some of these big policy wins really require, it's not just how a bill is written, it's how sort of the politics are executed.
So are you concerned that the mayor's kind of sort of heading into sort of like a lame duck status? He's exhausted all his political capital and he won't be able to get a lot of these things done?
I think when there is a mess in your house, you need to move quickly to clean up the mess. And frankly, the issues that New Yorkers are focused on are the ones that affect them each and every day. How they get to work, where their kids go to school, how clean their streets are, do they feel safe in their city? And so we want to make sure those continue to be a priority moving forward. That has to be the case for the city.
Real quickly, I know you're nonpartisan, but is there something the mayor is not doing in the middle of all these investigations that you feel he should be doing so he can continue governing effectively, or no?
I think the mayor needs to signal to New Yorkers that he is focused on the job at hand. We saw that yesterday with the rollout of the mayor's management report, which I think was really important. Let's focus on the nuts and bolts of government. But I think there's more to be done to signal to New Yorkers that there is no room in his administration for anyone who is distracting from those goals.
Yeah.
And he's not just the sitting mayor, right? He is campaigning to continue to be the mayor. How does this impact his ability to campaign and run a city at the same time?
Look, the fact that we're heading into a municipal election year in 2025, I think is an opportunity for us to be talking about the policy issues that are so important to New Yorkers. So from our vantage point at Five Borough, that's what we're going to be doing, keeping the spotlight on the key and core policy needs that New Yorkers want to see action on and are demanding action on. And we want to make sure that all of the conversations that take place in the city are focused mostly on policy rather than just politics.
And in our final moment, just going back to that public trust issue you spoke about earlier in the conversation, is there concerns that when people lose trust in government, they won't go out and vote, they just won't feel like the government is on their side? What are some other impacts you see?
Yes, no, that's a huge one, Rocco. I mean, we have sadly really abysmally low voter turnout in the city. That's been a perennial challenge. And so if voters or would-be voters don't feel like the politicians that are running for office are talking about the issues that they care about, they're more likely to stay home. So that's another challenge.
Grace, great to see you. We
Thank
appreciate
you
being with us this morning.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.